It's a super bloom. It's a super super bloom. It's a super bloom. It's a super super bloom. It's a super what? It's a super super bloom. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Super bloom is a rare phenomenon in the California desert when hundreds of thousands of colorful wildflowers pop up after more than a decade of dormancy. The magic of this vibrant blooming is mostly strong winds and lots of rain. Like those hardy seeds riding the wind and patiently awaiting the rain, once we reconnect with the elements that truly nurture us, we rekindle our resilience, our confidence, and our strength. I'm your host, Osha Rose, and in this pod, we explore all things related to the power of the mind and to this physical human existence. We can realize our full potential once we wake up the wisdom in our bones and activate our innate ability to thrive. Let's wake up with joy and be the Shakti in our lives. So beautiful, like all I can do is let it flow through.
Yeah. All I can. Well, that's for music, but I think what musically, I just don't have a lifetime of classical training or hundreds of or thousands of dollars of music lessons. And so I have to rely just on my senses, on my intuition. Another one of my mentors is Habitat. And awesome music, but he's got a beautiful phrase when you're building out music, and it's just this: if it sounds good, it is good. And that's it, right?
All right, let's just center before we begin, bringing our breath in and out through the nose and mouth, connecting in with the heart space, letting this be a soul-led, heartfelt exchange for the benefit of our hearts, the benefit of the hearts of our community that we will bring together with these words, with our expression. And so it is.
So it is.
Yay! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Super Bloom podcast, where we talk about living a life on purpose and bringing to the surface what is innately within us. I'm your host, Osha Rose, and today I am so excited to welcome Alex Steelheart, a musician, community builder, and life guide who followed a powerful inner nudge to leave corporate America and step into a whole new chapter in her life. She is a mom, a creative soul, and someone who is courageously walking her path in life. Welcome, Alex, to Super Bloom.
Hi, Osha. Hi, Super Bloom world.
Yay. Oh my goodness. So I am just so excited to share you with this audience. I met you, it's all been virtual, and it's amazing to me how deeply connected I feel and how supported I felt like right away from meeting you. We met through a community online for musicians, and it was right before I was releasing my first song ever, like Breakdown. And so the support I felt from you will always be like special to me because there's this cheering on of the whole community there that we can do this, and helping me work through some of the technology pieces was a big part too. And so I like loved your brain immediately. And when you told me like, let's connect, and you had all these like you were still in that mode of corporate. Like I met you when you were transitioning out. It was just so amazing how like looking at you right now, feeling your essence, your presence, your beauty, your radiance. I felt it then too, but there's just this shift I have watched. What would you call it? Like shedding layers? I went through my own experience similarly, but I didn't watch it, the way I've experienced it for you.
Yeah, I really do. First of all, thank you for having me. And also, thank you for all those really lovely words. I was sitting over here and my heart's all just tingly and like, it's really sweet to have mirrored back the way that maybe we impact others that we're not always completely consciously aware of,
Yeah.
So thank you for saying all those lovely things. I would say the last year has been like, it's literally a year this month. at the end of
Mm,
this month. Yeah, the it is the year of the snake after all, and I
mm,
have been shedding just like what feels like nonstop. And really
mm.
like over the last year and especially the last couple months, I was telling a mentor, I was like, I feel like I'm rebirthing like 10 times a day right now. And he was like, that's a real thing. When you hit a certain point in your journey, that's real. And I was
Mm,
like, okay, because it felt like I was shedding that skin 10 times a day. Like, I can't tell anyone the story of my life because it's transpiring at like light speed.
mm. And almost like a vulnerability still, because you haven't even processed that layer. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, how many more layers do I have before it's skin and like bone?
Yes. Yeah. Somehow
Mm.
my skin is holding up, but
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like when we shed, we're making space for regrowth. I don't know, thinking of like the snake
yes,
or anything that, yeah. But
yeah,
there's that moment, or like when you're like the snail looking for the new home, it's like there's that moment where you're just vulnerable.
I'm feeling like the snail looking for the new home literally right now. I'm actually in the middle of moving homes, so
Ah,
that snail without a home is real. But I really do. It's gonna sound cliche, and I'm gonna share it. Like the idea that home lives really inside of our being has been never so alive or embodied. I've never had the embodied wisdom before now. The
mm,
embodied wisdom is there, and it's actually thanks to some of the like musicians retreats I've gone on over the last year.
mm,
That I realized how little I could be happy, very happy without, right? Just in community with nourishing food, with
mm,
healthy, nourishing people, and like a bed and some clothes, like and musical instruments.
yes,
Fire and music. Fire and music and community. That's the
that is
secret
home.
sauce. That's kind of all you need. And so those
Mm,
journeys that I took this last year were
mm.
well worth blowing through my 401k savings.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Was there any one that you're thinking of right now? Like an
And
experience you
one
had?
trip,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the most impactful journey of the year was in Louisiana in the
Mm,
swamp, the Atchafalaya Basin. I think I'm saying it correctly. With Savage, the artist
mm. Oh wow.
and world-based music producer Savage, Savej. Anyway, Donnie is also his first name, but he held a retreat for people wanting to become music producers or in process of that. And I went and I was in the swamp for 2 weeks. And then our brother Jay Bird held a Wachuma ceremony the second week that was optional that I stayed for. So I spent 2 whole weeks, in the swamp, um, rewilding in a lot of ways, but
Mm,
also focused on music production and music and community and fire, all those things we're talking about. But I'd say that the swamp itself holds a real magic,
mm,
a real lesson in like complete surrender to the flow of life and death as a circle, right?
mm,
Everything in the swamp is eating everything else, but yet there's tons of life thriving just everywhere.
mm,
And the alligators, there's like one or two alligator deaths in total. It's not even, they don't mess with us. They're just part of this ecosystem. And the people there are
mm,
very respectful of that ecosystem. There was this real return to Mother Nature and Mother Earth that I felt in my bones when I was in the swamp.
mm,
And then you combine that with really healthy masculine energy and divine feminine energy and this supportive community and the
mm,
the common interest, not even interest, the calling, the
mm.
soul-led mission of music on earth.
Yeah.
And that was heaven on earth to me.
Yeah. Because since that, I just remember since then, your
Mm.
music has shifted because your first song, Cave Dancer, is amazing. I
Yeah.
love it. I love the beat. I love the rhythm.
Thank you.
The music that you just recently released.
Love works.
Yeah, yeah. Just wanted to say it with you. It's different. There's just so much in there. There's so much medicine. Both equally are amazing, but to watch that transition from, and it's kind of funny, right? Because you went through this production training and that helped you get this really well produced, all these different sounds, all these different tracks, right? Because I can only imagine what your Ableton screen looked like building that out. And then to bring it out, this full EP of just your essence, it's your words. Your spoken word was something that drew me in right away too. But right before we even met for that first time on our call, I remember going through your Instagram and just being like, your voice drew me in, and these words, like your poetry and the art of just your voice is like the art. And then the words you were saying, I love and am nourished by words. And so it just, the combination, I was like, this is a lovely, lovely human. I'm excited to get to know that is also, on the similar path of, okay, I can do this corporate world. There might have been things that you liked about it, like I did, of the organization. Not really on a granular level was their organization. I always still felt like if things were crazy and wild, and that was kind of my job, was to like rein things in. But from a higher level of like hierarchy and systems in place, databases, I guess mostly. I love the technology that I learned in corporate America. But I was like, okay, she's got that mental capacity. The words kind of showed me your intelligence and just depths. But yeah, I'm just so excited that, go listen to her music. Love Works is one that's just so wonderful. And I'm curious what if I'm on the right path here of what I'm saying to describe your transition, or where are you in your, creation process? What guides you? Is there a process you have? Is there like kind of the way we started here today? Like, do you connect in with soul in some way or divine?
Yeah.
Because it feels like there's like when the portal, the 8-8 or was it the 8-8 portal? Yeah, the Lionsgate.
Yeah.
That one, I was somewhere else. And I remember tell me that story. I want to hear that story about that song, and then
Oh my
share with me where you're
God,
at.
I have
Yeah.
lots of thoughts on all these songs.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Let's
All of
see.
them.
No, well, we'll start backwards. The
Okay.
8-8 Lions Gatekeeper, that was my
Yes.
second song. And you're right, it was wildly different than my first song, Cave Dancer.
Mm,
So Lions Gatekeeper was a channeled song. Like I just hit record. I was sitting at my desk and I hit record on the microphone, and what comes out in that song is an unedited vocal take. It's just a single
mm,
take. And so it was weird for me because when it ended, I hit end and I like listened to it and I was like, that's cool. But it doesn't even, it's so interesting when I'm in like full channel mode. It's these things are really just passing through me. And actually, I
mm,
was just on another retreat with Parangi. I'm saying my pronunciation. I'm not pronouncing it fully correctly, but Parangi, Porangui. I know I'm
mm.
spelling these, but it's because I want people to
Yes.
know about these
Yeah.
people who have impacted me. So I was just on a retreat with him and his lovely partner, Ashley Klein, and he talks about music being capital M, like,
Mm,
and he talks about she's always flowing and she's part of the divine, right? So, but he says that music is always flowing. It's just a matter of us becoming aware enough and being able to listen and draw it in, and kind of like we're channeling to a stream nearby
mm,
from the river, right? And so to answer your question about Lionsgate Keeper, I really, that river is just flowing through. And so
mm,
when after I end one of those and when I listen to these songs back, I'm receiving the same download, the same message that other people
mm,
would receive from it. Because I'm like, oh, here's this other, me the human versus me the
mm.
vessel.
Yes.
But I want to, to touch on like the difference between before the swamp and after the swamp.
Mm,
I in the swamp, I met a lot of other beautiful fellow musicians, and I want to pay a nod to Savannah. She really helped me a lot with coming out of my shell vocally fully.
mm,
But really, everyone there, just the way that the support and talking and bouncing ideas, and no question was too silly. But following a couple months after the swamp, I also did a one-on-one mentorship with Geometry, and
mm,
he was huge in specifically getting Love Works, the EP, released. I did that work during our time together, and I have another song actually called God Can You Hear Me coming out on
ah,
November 1st to
oh, I'm
commemorate
excited.
that. that 1 year anniversary. I'm like 11/1, baby, the 1 year mark. So that's coming out. But those songs are all a result of um, everything my soul moved me to do, plus a little more mentoring with geometry afterwards, too, which is like,
Mm,
he's just a beautiful giver of permission. So when I'd be like, I just want to do this, or I don't want to do beats right now. I want to do this ethereal stuff. Good, do it. That's what's coming through you. So
mm,
where I'm at in my musical journey is I'd guess I'm multi-genre because Cave Dancers down tempo, Lionsgate Keepers ethereal, ambient, Loveworks EP is spoken word, affirmation, electronic. God, Can You Hear Me? I guess is ambient. We'll see. The point is, I'm just I'm not worried about what genre I'm doing or what I'm
mm,
creating. I'm really tapped into that capital M music and the divine to say, what feels good to my soul? What lights me up? What's fun? All of the stuff I created after the swamp, I had fun creating. And
mm,
the first song I loved, and I had a great mentor, actually, Marsig, who also does music mentoring, who taught me Ableton from the ground up. So thanks to him for that.
oh,
But Cave Dancer was very brain because I
mm,
was learning Ableton, which is a lot, and I was learning song structure and a little bit of music theory. I came to the table of music with nothing other than singing growing up,
mm,
So I'm really like an almost 40-year-old person, just completely like restarting uh,
yeah.
with with a complete baby at all of this. So the only thing I can do is rely on what flows through. I
Mm.
kind of don't have a choice in ways because I don't have the training or the background or, you know, those things. So I listen. And
To me, that's like the biggest transition from a corporate mentality to a spiritual way
ooh,
of living,
yeah, I guess so.
because what are your credentials? Like, tell me who you are. Tell me how I can trust you. Tell me what you know. Tell me who taught you what you know. Like that kind of proving yourself. And
Mm.
maybe because in corporate America, that's how it's structured. It's not really about the human or the heart. It's about the performance or the
Results.
effective, the what?
Results.
The results, exactly.
Yeah.
Where in music and in life, I think that's been the biggest lesson for me. I got laid off. That was my way of getting separated from corporate. I had made an intention to leave it in 2014 and it lasted a year, but I quickly went back to small jobs like within 3 months. I couldn't quite release and surrender into it. And perhaps it wasn't the right time. But this time, getting let go and having a child and realizing I didn't want to teach her that you're supposed to do this and you have to do that. And I was following my heart to this place of now where it isn't about how many years I went to college or how many years I've worked in a, Marketo database or whatever, like this world that mattered so much for so long. It's like poof, all of a sudden it's about what you're saying. Like how spiritual am I? Like how able am I to
Mm.
let go of that head space and tap into that heart space? Because is what I feel like opens you up, right? To the divine, to the like, what did you just say? It was so beautiful. Like, all I can do is let it flow through.
Yeah, yeah. All I can. Well, that's for music, but I think musically, I just don't have a lifetime of classical training or hundreds of or thousands of dollars of music lessons, and so I have to rely just on my senses, on my
Mm,
intuition. Another one of my mentors is Habitat, and awesome music, but he's got a beautiful phrase when you're building out music, and it's just this: if it sounds good, it is good. And that's it. That's it, right? Because I think musically, if we're beating it to death on perfection, we're like really losing the point.
mm,
Literally, it is called playing music. And we don't think about the first word enough. Playing, play. Like
mm,
we just play became work music, but it's not. It's like you're literally meant to play it. Play. So when people
mm,
ask me, do I play an instrument? I go, I play with a lot of instruments, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're asking me, am I like hyper fluent in one instrument? No, I'm not. But I love playing around
Mm.
with a lot of different instruments because anything is a noise. At the Parangi retreat, look at this one. This is there's there's all
Just
these body
yeah, your
percussion.
hand to your mouth. Yep.
Yeah, but we're playing. We're just playing. So,
Yep. No,
so
I love that. And that's what I teach my daughter too, is I'm learning the ukulele and I'm teaching myself that. And I know exactly what you're saying as far as feeling like people, and I used to be this way too. And at moments I still am. But when you see a musician and you hear how talented they are, or you just are a lover of music and you see their, for me, it's this tiny guitar people will say on my back, you want to hear them play it. And you want to maybe even, I used to book music. So you maybe even want to give them a place to play it and help them get paid to play it.
uh,
But for me, that isn't why I'm doing it. So when people say, "Oh, play me something," it's
yeah.
okay, let me see what's coming through right now. But then I still, yeah. And so, but I still feel myself like wanting to play something specific that they know. And all the theories I had helping book musicians, start with covers, start with things that people know so they can get a gauge of what you're capable of, but then be free, like do what's coming through for you. Like I would always coach anyone, doing gigs for me to that.
Yeah.
And now I see why I was saying that without even really knowing it at the time, because when you have that exchange, there is something beautiful about being witnessed as a singer. Maybe it'll be
Yeah.
more for you as a vocalist than playing, for me with the ukulele too. To truly sit and be witnessed by someone in your art, in your song,
Yeah.
it does feel really nice as opposed to just like nobody looking and being in a space. But I guess it all just ties back for me of like, what's my intention here? Have I connected into my heart? Am I coming from a spiritual place in
And
this, Yeah.
yeah, Parangi was saying this on the retreat. He had so many juicy bits to pick up,
Mm,
but he was like, serve the music. Make sure
mm,
the intention in your heart is to serve the music. Like, are you using your head and you thinking and you're like pre-planning and you're like trying to like control and right or even like trying to get a bunch of attention, or are you really really listening, really feeling into the energy of the space? He's a very talented musician. He's channeling in the energy in the room, and he's talking about that. Like, tap in, listen, and really, it's surrendering to me. These are my words, but it's surrendering to the divine, right? And music
mm,
being part of that, and everything we're talking about with our soul-led paths versus corporate America, like this is
mm,
all really like surrender. Like my whole year has been an act of just complete surrender in a way that I've never experienced. And I think when we do that with the music, to your point, it's like a ceremony every time. It's not a performance. We're not doing it. We're sharing
mm,
medicine, right?
mm,
Again, I'll credit Parangi. Music is medicine is really his
mhm.
phrase, but it's like, wow, it is the medicine. So
Yeah.
so if we're performing for responses or likes or follows or whatever, right? That is it can be fun, but I personally have had pretty strong downloads around not singing covers. For fun I love to, right? But when I'm out sharing my medicine with the world, then
Mm,
I want it to be the words that want to flow through me, the messages that I'm meant to carry forward,
mm.
and
I think fun is important for me to remember too. And just, I think of
yeah,
the word lighthearted when you say fun, because
yeah,
I gave myself this challenge to learn the ukulele, to just like give myself time to learn, to practice it. And the challenge was 100 days in a row, consistently, at least 15 minutes a day playing. That was maybe 9 months ago that I finished that challenge. I have written my first song on the ukulele. It came through, it was a spiritual song. But to get here, I had to practice these other songs to even learn what types of strumming there was or the different chords.
yeah,
When you say music is medicine, I feel that way about your poetry and your spoken word. I feel that way about your energy. Like I think there's a frequency for me. It's almost like when I say music is medicine, because I believe that too. Like the visual for me is like all these frayed edges of your nervous system. And the
Mm.
music comes in like this nourishing wave or this like healing salve or balm, and it just kind of like brings everything back together and smooths out the edges
Yeah.
and like brings you back to wholeness in some way, fills in gaps. Like in yoga, it's samskaras, these like
Mm.
scars or scrapes as life, wounds us. But we can fill that back in with the soothing balm of music, of the vibration of your words, of that
Yeah.
vibration and energy of your presence.
Yeah, literal vibration. And I
Yeah.
just at the retreat I just referenced with Parangi, this came up too, and these things were so resonant in my soul.
Mm,
But he talked a lot about like, well, why, why is music so central? And it's like, well, music is used, like life is played to the tune of an eternal song, right? Like
mm,
those are my words, I guess,
mm,
but that's my interpretation of it because what we talked about is think about all the events in your life. Everything is celebrated with music, right? Like marriage, birth, death, war, happiness, sadness, every emotion you can think of. But music, if you ever watch a movie, pay attention, there's always a sound score in the background. There's almost always music playing because music carries movement and movement
mm,
carries us through life.
mm,
And these are all the takeaways I had from it. But I'm like, whoa, yeah, like had I ever consciously thought about you're almost never in ever full silence. Nature is constantly a backdrop of music to our lives. There's
mm,
cars moving, there's birds chirping, there's always a backdrop of music and
mm.
movement, right? So it weaves our lives together. And
Yeah.
gosh, now I'm like, where was I going with that? But
That's beautiful. As
it was
music as the vibration and the frequency.
yeah, and it just feels like that is you asked, or you were commenting on the music being like the salve for life, right? And like
Yeah.
like smoothing those rough edges. And it's like, yeah, it's like when we think about the analogy of music as an ever-flowing river, what does a river
Mm,
do to rocks? Well, it smooths them over
mm.
time, right? And so
Love this.
the water does that. It's the only thing that can, through time can break the rock. So yeah,
Mm,
it is that salve that our souls
yeah.
really need. And if we think about some of the hardest times in our lives, oftentimes for people, the thing I hear is like what pulled them through is some music.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's important to tap into, I mean, I think in every part of our lives, this heart space, this intuitive, like
Mm,
inner wisdom,
yeah.
where we know this song is good for us right now to listen to, or
Mm,
this show will nourish me, the vibrations of these voices, the scenes on the screen.
yeah.
But I also think that isn't the case for everyone yet. And so maybe this conversation is will help others start to notice like what vibration am I connecting with? Is this medicine? Is this soothing me? Or out of habit, am I watching, this show that has this energy to it that I don't like? How do I feel watching this show?
Yeah.
Like have you asked yourself that?
Yes, it's so funny because earlier when we say, how do I feel when I'm responding? Like how's my
Hmm.
body reacting?
Yeah. What's going on right now?
Earlier in our call, though, as you were talking about, us leaving these data-driven technical,
Mm.
for a minute, you were talking about corporate, and I almost said, I was like, oh my God, my body went, like I had this very
Ah.
visceral response as you were talking about it that I
I
was
just got the
feeling.
chills on the right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was feeling like, and I noticed it in the moment. I consciously with my mind noticed it. I was like, oh, my body's response to that was negative or it's like no, right? My body's response was
Mm,
no. But what's hilarious about all this is at this exact moment in time I mentioned that I'm moving. I had this beautiful year and I got to this point where I'm like, all right, to financially rebalance, I have to give up my home. And this is the homiest home I've ever built for myself before ever.
mm,
And I just got it all in place a couple months ago. And when it all went in place finally, I was like, I had this knowing like I will need to give this up to continue to pursue my path probably. And that's okay. But my point is I'm in the middle of this shift. I'm packing everything up. I'm thinking, all right, I may still have to get another corporate job, right?
Mm,
but then as you're talking and I'm like, I'm like having this, because I've had a lot of direct referrals from high level executives into corporate roles in the last couple of months since I saw my
mm,
runway, like, oh, I better, a lot of direct referrals. Nothing. Everything's fallen through the cracks somehow. Nothing has come to fruition.
mm,
And I'm listening. I'm paying attention to that. The same way I'm paying attention to my body's reaction to you talking about
mhm,
it. I'm paying attention to what I call the redirects. Like, I'm not like, oh, woe is me. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Oh, why did that happen? Do I have a day or two where I'm like, whoo, this is hard. This is heavy. Yeah. Do I cry when
mm.
I need to? A lot. And I really understand it as the redirect, because my belief fully, if the last year has taught me nothing else, is like, well, it comes back to that one word. It's surrender, right?
Mhm,
It's I don't know everything. I can't see everything. And but the powers that be that I believe in, universe, spirit, God, source, is operating in my favor. My
mm,
belief is that I am a perfect part of this universal design and that my soul is here for a reason.
mm,
And that if I'm listening and I'm paying attention and I'm trying to, slowing down and maybe clearing some clutter out of my life, paying real close attention what I give my energy to vibrationally. The
mhm.
foods I eat, clothes I know is hard. I'm here too. It's going to take me a while, but the clothes we wear, the more than anything though, the people you surround yourself with makes
Mm.
all the difference in your mentality and your outlook. And then your
Um,
mentality and outlook creates your life.
yeah, so I'm glad you're bringing this up because this past year, a colleague, Raquel DeRoe, and I, beautiful soul and friend, but we became colleagues and started this full moon dance party on the beach where
Mm.
we are. We're on an island in Gloucester, and every full moon, it would just grow and grow. Like we started with like 20 or so people, and there's an ecstatic dance community 20 miles south in Boston that would venture to Gloucester because they're like, what? We can go outside and dance under the moon, like not just like in a building in the city. And so our last one of the season this year, there were 50 of us and there were like 10 children. And
Wow.
it made my heart so happy and my daughter so happy to have, and the moonrise was like orange and we just watched it come up over the
Wow.
coastline and it was magical. And I just know for me, those were the reaffirming moments of, I'm exactly where I want to be. I
Yes.
love dancing outside. I love dancing on the beach. And now I'm surrounded by 49 other people that love this too.
Yes.
So just that sense of like when we're called to do something, when we know, and then we're showing up, like you're saying, with complete surrender, but faith and trust and certainty. Like for me, I think
Mm.
the certainty came after like the second or third one of those where I just saw it was growing. And I said, oh, right. If I just keep showing up with a heartfelt intention to do what I love and to
Yeah.
share my passion and what lights me up, that is going to have a ripple of beautiful things that beyond, like you said, beyond what I can
Yes.
see. But I just know the feeling that I desire, that I already feel right now, is amplifying that feeling of trust, of love, of connection. So I'm saying all this to because I want to hear more about Fire Tribe. Like, how did because you have your own, it's not a full moon dance party, but you
Yeah.
bring people together where you are in
Yeah.
Kansas.
I'm in Kansas City,
Mm.
Missouri, but there's a Kansas City, Kansas too, and I do actually originate from Wichita, Kansas, from, birth
Ah,
to 18. So we Kansas and Missouri are
okay.
part of my story. But yeah, I want to comment on one thing. It's this concept of certainty you mentioned a moment ago.
Mm,
And there's this term I coined that I love, and it's sunshine certainty. And
mm,
I have to pay homage to a woman named Rebecca who used to do neurolinguistic programming training. She's like, "Are you ever worried that the sun won't come up? Like occasionally a
right,
cloud might
right.
cover it, but do you ever wonder if the sun will come up?"
I love this
Never.
already. No, I never think
Never.
about it.
You never would.
Happens every
Because
day.
it happens every day like clockwork for as long as we've existed. Right? So it's like, okay, I am certain of something. If I could be certain of one thing, maybe two, right? The sun comes up every day and eventually I die. I like, but the sun comes up every day. And
Hmm.
so I turned that into which is simple, right? But sunshine, certainty. And it's this, that kind of energy does bring in the things we want. I know that for sure. I've tested it many times. Is it tricky sometimes to hold that level of certainty around certain things? Yes, absolutely. I'm not
Mm,
saying I can do that around all things, but the times I've been able to lean into it, it works. Because but you have to get the frequency in your body of being that certain. It's like the sun comes up certain
mm.
and somehow banish all doubt.
And when you say somehow, like, okay, so the thought I'm having, real quick story is
Yeah.
I lost my cell phone in the grass chasing my daughter. And I was angry when I was chasing her that she was running away and was going to get hurt. But then
Mm,
once I caught her and realized my phone was gone,
yeah. Mm,
I didn't want to be mad at her for it. Like
yeah.
I knew it wasn't her fault, but
Yeah.
I felt this urge as she was like, "Oh, what happened?" Like she's all playful and silly. Like the whole time it was like I'm chasing her, but to me it's like, "Stop running away from me. I have no shoes on. There's rocks." Like I just felt like to get to her, it was just stressed out.
Totally.
But in that moment when I lost the phone, I felt it wasn't like a wave of energy came over me, but I felt this conscious decision that I was making to trust that I would
Yeah.
find this phone.
Yeah.
And then I felt all these urges as we were looking for it. And she's 4. So it's like I'm holding her hand now, trying to look for the phone. The flashlight that I usually have in the car is there's no battery because she likes to play with it. Like all these little things kept coming up, like, I want to get mad about that. I want to get mad about this. She's like, oh, can we just go home and look for it tomorrow? And I'm like, no, honey, we got to find it today. Like, but yeah, like we kind of need it, but like not wanting her also to think like my brain just kept thinking like, why do I even need this phone? Like, why am I so reliant? I don't even know anybody's phone number. Like I was just getting like mad. Then catching it, and I had this one moment where I just looked up and I was like, I just need some help. I know we're gonna find it, but I would just like some help. And my daughter's like, I'll help you. Like she's listening to me because I literally was saying it out loud.
Yeah.
And then this one guy came by and he was on his phone, but he helped me by calling it a few times, but like kept walking with us. Like he wasn't going to stop and help us, but he was
Right.
like, yeah, I'll call your number. And then he kept going. And then I felt deflated again, but then I felt the certainty come back. And it was just this, like you were saying, redirecting, but I felt it in the moment. Like,
Yeah.
no, you trust, you know, you're not going home. You're going to find it. And yes, it's getting later and later. And yes, it could be kept becoming unsafe, but I feel safe. Like I'm in the town I grew up in. I know I'm okay. And then this other man, I don't even know where he came from. Out of nowhere comes, I guess he had just walked out of his house across the street. And he stayed with us until we found it. He kept calling. I had 11 missed calls on my phone. My daughter was all excited. She had somebody new to like follow her around and play with, and I could focus and like really feel like I was like combing the grass. But it wasn't even me who found it. It was
Perfect.
this constant redirect of I will find it, we will find it, I will find it, we will find it.
Yeah.
And then you could hear his voice, how shocked he was that he found it. And the place, when I looked back, he's like, I found it. And I look back, I'm like, I walked past that spot in the middle where we were probably 7 times by now or 8
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, you're hitting on something that I learned in the swamp and no one taught it to me. That's the funny thing. It became like a transferred embodied knowledge.
Mm,
I had a download in June, which is after the swamp was April. In June, I went out to see Savage and Parangi both perform again that was
mm,
the second
it's
time I saw them
amazing.
both perform. And I saw them the first time together as well. So anyway, and that first time I had my Kundalini awakening shortly thereafter. So we'll put a
Mm,
pin in that for a later date. But
yep.
saw those guys in June and I had I was getting lots of downloads around like I am a wisdom keeper, I am a weaver, I am a connector. Part
Mm,
of my wisdom keeping is I'm getting downloads that I just know are true. Like and I won't push any of those on anyone ever, but I'm going to share them as my knowing, right? Here's what I'm experiencing, here's what I'm feeling, and here's my knowing. And I would bet my whole path and my whole life on any of these knowings that have started coming in because they're just so I just feel them in my bones, in my soul, in like the core of the
mm,
earth, deep way. And one of those such things is speaking to exactly what you're saying, which is you have to speak it out, literally out loud. There's a
mhm.
massive difference in manifestation when it comes to saying it in your mind, writing it on paper, speaking it out. So mind, least valuable. Writing it, more valuable. Speaking it, more valuable. Do you know what the most potent way is, though? Of
Feeling it in my,
manifesting?
like the phone in my pocket.
Uh, Well, you've got to have the feeling in your body. Sorry. First, feeling in your body. Yes, sorry. Maybe we
Yeah.
should.
Okay.
Step
No.
one in feeling in
No, but
body.
your fingers are going up above your like
They're
forehead.
going
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
because yeah, you have
This
to
is
feel.
great.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
to feel it. You're right. But then after that, it's like, thinking it's great, writing it's great, speaking it out loud, literally, really pretty great. The highest though, and I learned this on the Parangi retreat. People go on one of those retreats. Is I learned that it's singing it out loud. That's like the
Mm,
most. That is why conscious musicians are cautious with what they sing, because there's some knowing, whether they know it in their mind or in their body, that like I'm literally sharing my energy, and the way that I sing it out,
mm,
what I say when I sing does
mm.
manifest in my life and does matter. And so anyway, I'm sharing that you did something there, which you had the feeling, but then you said it out loud.
Yeah.
And I learned from Parangi that like first there was the word, but there was a missing part from this in like biblical reference. And then there was the word, but it was sung. That's cut
Mm,
out of mostly everything because it's so powerful. And
mm-hmm.
so when we speak out, when we sing out, this, in my lived experience, creates magical manifestations. Like you just experienced with
Mm-hmm.
your phone. It happened to me yesterday. I was at U-Haul doing this big move. That's the
Yeah.
day my friends came. They already showed up. U-Haul, we get there, they say, our systems are all down. I'm sorry, we can't give you any trucks. And I didn't freak out. I was calm. Internally, I was like, this is going to work out because it has
Mm,
to, because I'm following the path. And
mm,
so because I know that this works out, because I've I'm laying this sacrifice of my home on the altar of a healthier future life. I'm
mm,
giving I'm giving everything. So I'm like, no, I'm good. This will work out. We leave for 5 minutes. She calls us back. Oh, and what I did before I left matters because you did it too. Literally standing there with a U-Haul lady, little rough, lovely woman, but she's probably not used to people manifesting in the sky in front of her. So she's standing there, my good friend Richard, and we're all calm, and I just throw my hands to the sky and I say, universe, I need you to bring the U-Haul system back up because today is the day. The movement is happening, so I need you to make that happen. Thank you. 5 minutes later, she called. She's like, that worked. Our systems are up. I'm like, and so it is.
yes. Oh
And
gosh, I love
so
that.
it
I
is.
love that she witnessed it, and
Oh, it
yeah,
works. It works. Oh my gosh.
it
I
so
know.
works. And it's for me, everything rolls down to fear, like boils down to fear or love. It's like, what's the intention? Is it to
Yeah.
force your way, like say to her, like, you better fix this lady because
Uh,
this has to happen today. And like to me, that's out of fear. Like this won't happen unless I force it to.
right.
Like the trust, surrender, like these are all words. Yeah, I'm getting like chills in my cheeks.
Yeah.
But so all this to say, knowing and following your own path, it brought you, because I guess what I'll pause as I'm saying the sentence to and say it's like we're all in this place where we're constantly redirecting our brains. Like our brains are wired to freak out. Like that is what they're designed to do and help us check in and make sure, like, is this good? Is this safe? Are you okay?
Trying to protect us.
Yeah. However, when we're operating from a intuitive place, from that inner wisdom, that heart space, there really isn't a need for that.
Mm,
Like when we're coming from love, we're
yeah.
picking up that frequency. We're connecting to that flow of the river. We're aware of the next,
Right.
I'm gonna sing this out loud instead of grab this person by the collar. Trust and you understand this is happening for my greatest good. And I have an intention here that I'm gonna uphold, which is love and kindness and compassion. Like you treated that woman, you didn't blame it on her. People do that out of anger, but I think ultimately out of fear and frustration. But so all of that to say, following your path, like when did Fire Tribe start? Like, and when
Yeah.
did this root to rise? Yeah, our soul.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was like, as you were speaking about what you were talking about, it was the perfect tie-in to Fire Tribe. Actually,
Yeah.
you mentioned my co-founding partner. Her name is LaShonde, and she's really, really been an inspirational part of my journey, actually, when it comes to viewing those redirects as like
Mm,
adventure. She's always like curious and fun and like about a redirect. She'll like something will happen. She'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm excited to see what'll happen. Like
Yep.
literally, it can be something that I'm like, oh my God, how are we gonna like do this? And I don't say,
Mhm.
maybe I haven't said it, but I'm feeling it. And she'll just be like, oh, well, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing what else is in store. Like it's just like this, like,
Where's the
so
lesson here? Yeah.
yeah, but but it's in more like a childlike, playful, open way where it's like
Mm.
any outcome is a happy outcome. And it's just
Being
like,
curious and living in
yeah,
wonder. Yes.
yeah, she does that beautifully. And it's such a good tie into Fire Tribe because the other thing I've really been doing this year, we talked about my musical path and we haven't tapped on it a lot, but life guidance, which seems like it was kind of woven into everything we were
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's been huge is community building. So early this year in February, as I'm like trying to figure out, okay, what am I gonna do really? I was getting a new music already, knew that, right? That was on lock. I had started a life guidance and coaching program shortly thereafter, but I'm like, all right, what is my soul itching and calling to do? And the downloads were very clear. Build community, build community, build community. And I was
Mm.
like, okay, how? So the first thing I did was actually I built an online women's community called the Root Spire Sisterhood with my beautiful, beautiful co-creator and co-musician and all these things, Katya Siana, who you also know, Osha.
Mm. Oh, she's
I
amazing.
I enlisted her help. I was like, hey, I want to do a women's like a cyclical living. The Root Spire Sisterhood focuses on living life as a cycling woman, even if you're not still cycling, or even if you're someone who identifies as woman and wants to honor the moon cycle and the cycle of our bleed. We focus
Mm.
on that. How like what are the activities, the diet, the rituals, all these things to honor
Oh,
that cycle.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So we do that online. So I started that right away when I was getting those downloads. And thank you to her for doing that with me because we
Mm.
co-lead that and it's been lovely. We have a lovely core. That's free for
It
anyone
helps
to
to have
join.
support. Like when you're
Yeah,
building
yeah,
something up, like with Raquel, it was just so nice for her to invite me to do that with her to start it.
yeah,
And then the two of us, you just thrive in a way
yeah.
that's different when you're on your own.
I'm
I do a
huge.
lot on my own. So yeah, it's nice.
I'm collaboration is the name of my game. Like people are always welcome to reach out. I really thrive in collaboration
Yeah.
because people can operate in their genius. Anyway, you
Mm.
mentioned
Okay.
Fire
Yeah.
Tribe.
Yeah.
The next evolution of the build community download, right? Once I got Root Spire Sisterhood going, and we did that weekly, actually, for the first couple months, weekly. We're on monthly right now, but we may change. But then, good dear friend of mine named Thomas connected me with LaShond here in Kansas
Mm.
City. And ironically, he lives up in Massachusetts, a lot closer to where you're at. And I had met him at a festival 2 years ago, and LaShond did Fit for Service with him. And he knew we both lived here and waited, I think, till the perfect moment. And it was March of this year. He's like, you should meet LaShond. And I was like, okay. Met her and she's like, I want to build community. I have property up in Platte City. I have room, natural land, fire pit, cold plunge, big, huge dining living space for our potluck style snacks that we do. And she's like, I want to do community. I'm like, good, me too. So we met and we had our first gathering in April. And it's really funny. I put out the call to anyone I knew in Kansas City, right? And if you're listening and you didn't come, I still love you. This is more me sharing because it was fascinating. What was fascinating is it was not at all the people who I thought would show up who showed up. In fact, it
Mm.
was these kind of very unique connections I had made. And here's the other part. Through 4 men I know, the first gathering of Fire Tribe, we debated, would we do a women's only gathering or would it be co-ed? And LaShonda and I both feel a really strong call to invite the healed, the healthy masculine back into spaces and really give them a place to feel nurtured and connected as well. Because
Beautiful.
women band together more easily to create circles,
Mhm.
right? And now it's like those of us who have the capacity to hold space for the masculine as well, it's time to invite them back in and teach them about the divine feminine. And there's
Mhm.
so thank goodness we invited the men because our whole first gathering happened through 4 points of contact who I knew who were all men. So I
Mm.
just think it's worth, and the first gathering was 11 people, most of the gathering. We had a 12th pop in at the end, but our
Mm.
core group was really 11. and
Mm,
it became 12 at the next. But so that's our, we call that our wizard council. And
yes.
but here, to date, we've had four gatherings this year. The first one was, 11 or 12 people. The second one was 23 people. The third one was 33 people. The last one was 48 or 50 people. So to your point with your
Mm,
dance circle, it just keeps growing. And when I am at Fire Tribe, I'm the LaShonda and I co-founded it. I'm still kind of the point person for the community leader. Like I'm the one who sets the agreements of the container and coordinates, kind of how
mm,
the evening will flow, and really I'm there to hold a safe space to make sure people understand that we have these agreements when we're here and I'll be paying attention energetically. And
mm.
anyway, it's this
Do you think you'll ever do your own retreat? Like a place where like
yes,
these retreats you've been on and
yes,
yeah.
yes, I
Okay.
do.
Sign me up.
I came back quite inspired after all of these different experiences I've mentioned, but the Parangi retreat specifically, there was mostly a lot of our time together was him leading song circling, and channeled song circling, not anything structured, but sounds and noises
Yeah.
and rhythms and body percussion. And I felt a deep resonance with the song circling, but I'm not sure what all this looks like for me yet.
Yeah.
And yes, on my horizon will be some version of a retreat or workshop, and it will include my Fire Tribe. A lot of my core members there have beautiful healing gifts. We have DJs
Mm,
and singer-songwriters and neurosomatic body workers and breath workers and fire spinners and
mm,
coaches of all sorts. And we have
yeah.
such a beautiful community that's forming with some of the most talented humans I've ever met. So the goal will really be, in my vision, I have to make sure other people want to come along, but I think they do,
Yeah.
is yeah, that we really turn that into something.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly believe that like your story, where you are on your path is inspiring.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of people, I was this person too, that struggle with making the decision to leave something that on paper seems really stable and
Yeah.
reassuring. And I even had moments where I regretted I had left one corporate job I had had for 5 years for another job, and that other job was $30,000 more a year. So I was like, it's a no-brainer. Of course I'm going to take this other job, even though I didn't know how I was going to do it, like, with my baby. But
Yeah.
I said, I have to do this. It's more security, it's more money. And then 5 months later, the company laid all of us off.
Oh,
And then I had a moment of regret, though, of like, oh, why'd I leave that other job? At least that, other pay was consistent for 5 years. Well, the guy that took over for me, he got laid off 6 months later.
wow.
So it wasn't
Wow.
that OSHA, it was like it was time. And not everyone either gets let go like I was and kind of like freed or can make, sometimes it happens that way, I guess is what I'm saying. We know we want it, we're putting the intention out there that we need a change, and we are gifted it by being let go and given maybe even a little bit of a severance to help us on our transition. But
Yeah.
for you to plan it, to know you wanted this, to take the
Ah,
leap, to keep working through and redirecting yourself along the way, like all of this that you have shared today, for me and I know others, is medicine and is spiritually uplifting. This reminder that, because I believe this wholeheartedly, like we have all the answers within, without, like when we call them in, we can hear them resonating from in here. It's like this inner knowing, this inner guidance system. It's like sat nav, my daughter will call it from Blue. We always have this guidance system if we get in that rhythm of the river, or tune into those sounds of nature, like find stillness in motion. For me, it's like this: if we can tune into that, we'll hear it, we'll know what to do. Every time we get that brain kicks in and tries to redirect us in this like fearful place, like we can rein it in. So I'm just so excited to see where this goes for you. I definitely want to bring you back. I want to need to get everybody's going to want to know an update, like where you're at. Because your
yeah.
journey, your path is inspirational. We're all going through similar, internal struggles of knowing in our heart space what we want, what we desire, but our mind taking over, trying to guide us and bring us somewhere, which I do know, like looking at where we're both at now, like we're exactly where we're meant to be.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
it have been a little bit easier to get here? Could I have gotten here sooner? Like 12
Well,
months ago, like if I had just kept
yeah.
going, like,
And
but yeah. it's
well,
not necessarily the best use of energy, I guess, is to regret. I just think it's important to
right.
trust that the sooner
Listen,
we can, yeah, tap in,
I'm like,
the
I
easier it'll
gotta,
get.
yeah, it will. And it hasn't necessarily been an easy path. And just to like,
Mm,
to, to put a bow on what you're talking about with the surrender in the last year, because, where I'm at today is actually really the most financially vulnerable I've ever been.
mm,
And I did plan for that, last July, not this past, but of
yeah.
24. I went on a retreat with Heather Christie, actually, and Aruba,
Yes.
who
That's
we
how we
we,
met.
we met
Yes.
through. And I was on that retreat, and I was flying home, and I got a download. I got two downloads. I was like, get a snake, and literally, get a snake and quit your job, cash out your 401ks, and pursue music. And I was like, ooh, number two is way too scary. I'm not there yet. Okay. But I was like, I could probably really push a growth edge and get a snake. I had had one with my ex-husband years and years ago, and okay, I could probably get a snake. Funny story, we got two. One lives at my son's class and one lives with me, but I think I still kind of own two snakes. That I did. The scary part was, what? I'm not the kind of person that like cashes out her savings and like I just got really financially stable, very financially stable for the first time in my life, really fully making the best money ever, well loved by my customers and my company in cybersecurity, a relatively stable career right now, like just like all the things. And so I did plan though. I was like, okay, I knew the download was true in July. I felt it, I knew it,
Mm,
and there was no denying it, like literally. So I started to just try to work myself to that point. And I knew
mm,
this, and I think it's important for people to hear. Like, we know you'll never be fully prepared for anything, but do consider, do you really feel ready in a way to, this is my advice to myself. It's what I lived, and if someone's asking my opinion is, you still know when you're ready enough. There's still got to be
mm,
some little bit of, you got to feel courageous about the leap, not terrified. If you feel absolutely terrified to the point of freezing up, then
mm,
it's, for me, it's not time yet. But I know when I'm terrified but excited, like,
mm.
oh, that sounds fun. But I'm also terrified, but it
Yeah,
sounds
it's a
fun.
big stretch, but
I can do
it's
it.
something I want.
So
Yeah.
I waited for that point to arrive, and also things just kind of shifted at work to a huge, they just weren't going well. And I just thought, I think it's time. And so I did plan though. I called my ex-husband. I made sure we're good with his job and his insurance that he covers for my son. And I even
Mm,
went so far as to say, hey, a year from now, if I need to move back in to the house, because it was our joint house, and I gifted it in our divorce, and he gifted me things too, and I'm appreciative. But I just said,
mhm.
hey, if I need to move back in as a safety net, can I? I'm going to make a bold leap in my life. But I did plan accordingly for my child's well-being and also for mine if I needed it. And full circle, bless
Yeah.
his heart, bless Anthony's
Hmm.
heart, I am moving back into his house for a while. That's where I'm moving back into, is
Mm-hmm.
that day came. The day came where it was like,
And I almost wonder if you planned all of this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think
yes,
that's the important thing to remember.
my soul
Yeah.
made a plan. And listen,
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm always trying to keep up with my soul, but I trust that. I feel like there's a cord, like a golden cord, like a really one as big as my hands can make a circle, straight from my heart. And it's like my soul is a few steps ahead of me, and she's
Mm,
holding on to that cord that's attached into my heart. This is the vision I have all the time. And I just
mm,
feel like I'm being kind of gently pulled along by my soul. Sometimes the tugs are a little rough, but usually it's a gentle, like, come on.
mm.
And as long as I'm listening, and I'll just tell you, in the last couple days, I've been selling off all sorts of my
Oh,
belongings
wow.
on Facebook Marketplace because I've really been asked to downsize in order to fit my stuff back into my ex's garage and house without
Mm,
it being too much. Been
mm,
selling these things off, and every time a piece leaves, I feel lighter and lighter and
mm,
lighter, and I'm feeling happier, and I'm feeling like this is good and right for my path. And by the way, people are picking stuff. I've posted things on Marketplace that have sat for months before. I mean, like, every single thing I post is leaving. I'm
mm.
not making like a huge profit on anything, but I'm getting a little cash, and it's just like boom, 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 boom is leaving. And some people I'm giving stuff away for free. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm sharing my abundance and I feel like I'm lightening
Mm,
my burdens and I'm like, woo, all right. This is how I know I'm on the path is because of how quickly things are working out.
and how
Like,
you feel. Like you
and
keep
how I
checking
feel.
in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. How I feel and how things are moving.
The
Like
flow.
flow.
Yeah.
Universe is like, yes, you're on the path. Let me keep clearing these obstacles for you. Right?
Mm. It's so reaffirming, and it's just this. It must feel reaffirming, I should say, to have that
Yes.
happen. And when the brain tries to kick in and be like, but you found that shopping at this place and it was so hard for you to get that. You know, like when the brain wants to try to be like, no, don't go.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
you believe that they'll come back to you if it's something that is really meant to be in your life again later?
I energetically, yes.
Okay.
See, I don't know if I believe that the belonging itself will make its way back. I guess I could choose to, but I
Yeah.
think I've just energetically what I've decided is something better will come in, right?
Mm,
In
If
my
not this, then something better.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's something equal or better, right? It's kind of this
Mm,
like I'm giving with expectation in a way, but this is the kind of expectation that returns in the universe is like, hey, universe, I trust you so much
mm,
that I know that if I am willing to give this up, right? If we
yeah.
want to, I'm giving this
Consider
up
it. Yeah.
and I consider this is my sacrifice on the altar of like just full trust that you, universe, will provide abundantly for me and that I will always have everything I need and more. And also,
Mm,
my desire for abundance comes from this deep desire to help as many, gift as much as I can.
yeah.
I say this, I want to fairy godmother the absolute sparkles out of everyone. Like, I'm just wanting like blessings, 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 and just bless everyone, right? So
Beautiful.
that is, I think, where my desire for all of these things comes from, and it kind of
Let that be your image of money, right? Like dollar bills coming out of the
yeah,
wand or just this energy of like blessings and sparkles. And I know for me it's like connecting, like getting laid off, like just having that sensation of like feeling like money was something that could be taken from me,
mm,
but realizing it is within me. It isn't like money is just a construct that we created so we could like have taxes or whatever. It's like it's
yeah,
not real. It's the exchange of energy that's real. So
yeah,
that I think that's what you're feeling with the releasing of things. You're
yeah,
meeting people along the way. You're seeing their smile as they receive your
yeah.
gift.
I've had people send me pictures of their item in their home. It's been
Oh
really
my
weird.
God, I love this.
People that were really going to cherish things that I did not want to detach, like I was like, oh, but then they were like, oh, I love it so much. Look, it looks perfect.
Mhm.
A couple people. I was like, cool.
Like a new home for your,
Yes. And I'm
yeah,
like, it's going to be well loved. And look, it's serving
yeah,
another purpose. And all it did for me was create more clutter. And
yeah. That's beautiful. So, this has been such a heartfelt conversation, and I'm so grateful for everything we've touched on. And I have ideas for what we can tap into next time, like this Kundalini awakening, like Shakti is everything for me. So, just talking about life force energy next time. Was there anything else you wanted to kind of share before we
yes,
close?
I think so. But it's quick. I think we touched on a lot of awesome things. Thank you for the lovely.
Yeah, I want to introduce you fully to everyone as much as we can. This
Yeah,
little
really.
window of time.
I will say, if anyone wants to understand how they could work with me, collaborate with me, things like that, I'm on my website is alexsteelheart.com. Steele is with an E on the end. Everything is traditional spelling. Otherwise, I'm sure you can post a link somewhere.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, links and everything will
But
be in the
yeah,
show
yeah.
notes.
So website, connect with me on Instagram if that's fun under Alex Steelheart. I've got a YouTube. I've got all those fun things, but I do life guidance and coaching. And so if anything resonated with anyone on this call today, they can find that information on my website. If you're in Kansas City and local to the area, or even if you're coming through and you want to come to a fire tribe gathering, message me because we love to invite in like-hearted souls. And if you
Mm,
need a place to stay, we have a community of people. We can find a spot for you if you're ever coming through Kansas City for your own music or coaching or anything. So that invitation is there. And then
yeah.
otherwise, my next song comes out November 1st. So here maybe this comes out before, maybe it comes out later, but if you are hearing this episode, still go check out the song God Can You Hear Me? And by the time you make it there, I may have other songs released. So support just with Spotify or Apple Music, likes or shares or follows or any of those things are super helpful for any artist, any musician in your life that you love. It doesn't have to be me, but anyone, the algorithms right now, they still matter to a lot of us. And so it's helpful however you can support your favorite musicians and artists.
Yes. And when you're on Alex's website, go under merch and get her, thinking of that sunshine certainty that you said, and you have your sunshine oil, the way you curate, once I saw what she was putting into her oil, I had to have it. And so I absolutely use your oil every single day.
Yeah.
It's what radiates my skin, and
You're glowing.
It's glowing, and
We're both glowing, and we're
thing
both
that you
wearing
put in it. We're both glowing thanks to Steelheart Sunshine Oil. So make sure you get that too. But beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your voice, your heart. And to everyone listening, remember, Super Bloom might not look like anyone else's, but it's happening in its own perfect timing, in its own perfect way. So until next time, let's all just stay in bloom, or in the phase of bloom that we're in. Sometimes it's under the surface waiting to pop out, but just trust that we are all living the life that we were destined and meant to. So I'm losing my tangent here. Okay. Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear how do we close out, Alex? What's that?
We close it out. I was just gonna give you my signature sound, and it's just everything you just said. I'm washing it with energy. So we'll do two things. This is a lot of spiritual teachers, but this was fresh from the retreat. And it's if you really love something someone did, start the fire. We're doing the fire starting move. Create heat in your hands. Drum up that energy. And then when you're ready, you're gonna send it with 3 claps. We'll send it on 3. 1, 2, 3. And then hands out, we'll send that loving energy to each other and to all the beautiful souls listening in or watching. This energy is headed straight towards you so that you can reach your super bloom point in life too, whatever that looks like. I agree. It's different for all of us. So we send that love out, and then we say,
beautiful. Yay. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much for having me, Osha. It was an absolute honor and privilege. Thank you so much. Mwah.
Well,
bye.
Take care, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Super Bloom podcast. For more information on how to open up your mind and expand your heart, and ways to work with Osha Rose, visit osharose.com. There is music videos, community connection, fun ways to learn about the body, the mind, and how they connect. Visit osharose.com.